Hi there, my name is Emma Ledden and welcome to this masterclass on the number one reason presentations fail. Today I want to tell you the story of the Space Shuttle Columbia. This is a true story. On January 16th, 2003, the Space Shuttle Columbia launched from Kennedy Space Center. There were 7 astronauts on board, and this is them. 82 seconds after the shuttle launched, there was a foam strike. So this is when a piece of debris from the launch site breaks off and hits the shuttle as it is launching. Now, foam strikes happen all the time and are not usually a big deal, but in the case of the Space Shuttle Columbia, the engineers in NASA, watching a playback of the launch, believed this particular foam strike was bigger and faster than anything they had seen before, and as a result, the shuttle was damaged. But they weren't 100% sure, so what they needed was a photograph of the shuttle's wing. But the problem was, the shuttle was now in space. Now, it's not a simple thing to get a photograph of a shuttle in space, and it's also very expensive. So the engineers in NASA, all the way down here, had to convince the senior managers in NASA, all the way up here, to pay for it. They made some phone calls, they sent some emails, and eventually the managers in NASA, not really understanding what the big deal was because, foam strikes happen all the time, said, okay, come and tell us what the problem is. For this meeting, the engineers prepared a detailed PowerPoint presentation in the hope of getting the approval for the satellite photograph. What I'm about to show you is the very last slide of that real presentation. The key message is on this slide. Take a look. Let's come back to this in a minute. What the engineers did was they began the presentation with a general introduction to foam strikes. Then they went into detail on all the foam strikes that had happened, hadn't happened, and could have happened. And then at the very end, they delivered the key message on that last slide. Let's go back and look again. Do you have any idea what the key message is here? It's the second last line. Flight condition is significantly outside of test database. In other words, this foam strike was outside of anything they had seen or tested for in the history of NASA. And the 7 crew members were in real danger. But they didn't actually say that. Let me pause for a second to remind you, these were experts talking to experts, engineers talking to fellow engineers. There was an assumption the senior managers would listen to the whole presentation and would understand everything. The NASA managers, now armed with all the data, made a decision.